Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Ramble. Did you see my new coffee cup? Check this out. I'm having a nice hot cup of coffee this morning, and this is actually a birthday gift from my awesome nerd-enabling wife. She got me this sweet Batman coffee cup with the yellow oval new look bat symbol on one side, and then check it out on the other side. It's classic, like 1970s, 80s Super Friends type Batman, like really probably the first image of Batman that I ever really came to know as a young budding Batman nerd. That was one of my birthday gifts from Ashley. So I think it's obvious at this point that I've picked a winner. But that's not actually what I wanted to talk to you about today. I was going through some old photographs that my grandmother had unearthed, and I found some pictures of my dog. And as you know, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, I have a cat right now. I've had a cat for about the last 7 or 8 years, Audie, and she's my only pet at the moment. But once upon a time, when I was a younger person, I had a dog from about age 6 or 7 to age 21. I had a dog. And I found some old photographs of her, and it just got me feeling nostalgic, made me think about my dog, who I still think about from time to time anyway, because she was just such an important part of my life for so long. And I don't think I've ever shown you a picture of her. So here are some pictures of her. That's her. Her name was Star. She was a black lab, and that's her. That picture was taken in 1988, and at that point she's about 2 years old, something like that. And just the sweetest, most awesome dog. And then here, this one here, that you might think that's me. That's not me. That's actually my brother, my younger brother, my only brother, Danny. That's him with Star. And then this last one that I'm going to show you, prepare yourself. That's me. Dig those shorts. That is a cool motherfucker. Can you believe I don't think I need to tell you how popular with the ladies I was. And there I am with my dog, Star. She was such a great dog. I remember when we got her, the first time I ever saw her, I was in first grade, and I had been sort of campaigning for a dog for a while, and I came home from school, and my mom and dad were both home, and it was unusual because usually my dad was still at work when I got home from school, and mom and dad were both home, and I came home from school and walked into the kitchen, and they were both like waiting for me in the kitchen because we lived close enough to my school that I would just walk when the weather was nice. I would just walk back and forth from home to school. And they were waiting for me in the kitchen, and they said, look under the table. And I looked under the kitchen table, and it was dark in the kitchen. I guess the lights weren't on. And I looked under the table, and I didn't see anything. I saw nothing. And I was like, what am I looking at? And they said, "Oh, look again." Like they started to sort of, it got kind of awkward and weird because obviously I was supposed to look under the table and go, "Oh my God!" And that didn't happen. They finally had to turn the kitchen light on, and there was my dog, Star, underneath the table. A little black lab puppy. They had just gotten her that day and just brought her home in time for me to find my new dog when I got home from school. And she was all black except for at just below her throat, like in the front of the top of her chest, she had a little patch of white, like a single star in a night sky. And that's actually the reason they chose her out of the litter as opposed to one of the other dogs, because I actually told my parents before we ever actually got the dog that if I got a dog, I would want to name the dog Star. As I said, I was a huge astronomy nut even back then and continuing to today. And I said, if I get a dog, I want to name the dog Star. And they found the perfect dog that suited that name, because it's just one of those things that kids do. You start with the name and then you find the dog to fit the name. It's kind of ass backwards, but it made sense to me at the time. There was one time when my dad took Star out to hunt with him, and he almost lost her. I remember this so well. I remember him telling me this story because I wasn't actually there. It was the sort of thing where Dad took the dog out hunting with him, and he came back, and this had all already happened, and I knew nothing about it. So it was, a happy ending. The dog was back home. The dog was fine, but
he told me about how when he took her hunting with him, and he let her out of the truck, and he had spotted some deer out in the down in the woods away from the road, and he let Star out of the truck, and she took off after the deer and just bolted, just flew after them. And he called for her, and she didn't come back. And he thought she was gone. My dad thought that he had just lost my dog. And he looks for her, for hours. Just spends the whole day driving around Woodmont looking for my dog. And finally, he returns to the spot where she first ran off. And she's there. She's waiting for him. And my favorite part of the story is Dad pulls up in his truck, and there's Star lying there, I guess just waiting for him. She figured, well, I guess I might as well go back to where the last time I saw my human. And he gets out of the truck and he calls to her, and she starts to come to him, but she's got her head down and her tail kind of between her legs, like she always used to do when she knew that somebody was pissed off at her, or she was afraid that she was going to get in trouble. And Dad just goes, come on, just get in the truck. I'm not mad, come on. There's just something about having a dog in the truck with you. And I'm not sure where that comes from. I'm not sure what instinct that appeals to, but even if the dog's not there to hunt, even if you know you're not going to use the dog in the hunt at all, there's just something just appealing when you grow up in the country and you grow up with that hunting, fishing, rural sort of culture. There's just something about having a dog in the truck with you and just rambling around through the woods with a dog next to you in the truck. There's just something like, I don't know, it's just a really cool feeling. And that was the feeling that my dad was maybe regretting that he had chased when he saw Star fucking bolt out of the truck, and he was afraid that he was never going to see her again. And he was going to have to come home that night with his head down and his tail between his legs, because he thought for sure if he didn't come back with that fucking dog that he was in for it. And he was right, he would have been. Something uncanny just happened. Right as I was getting in the truck and getting set up for this segment, a lady pulled up to take a walk down the path where I was just walking, and she had a dog with her, and it was a black lab, the spitting image of Star. Even had a red collar, and I know that in the photos I showed you earlier, Star has a yellow collar, but after she had that yellow collar, we got her a red collar that she had for, I think, for the rest of her life. So the dog that I saw looked a lot like Star, and it actually ties in with what I wanted to talk about in this segment anyway, which is after my dog died in 2001, I had several experiences, one of which I've talked about a couple of times in videos already, that were coincidences related to Star or related to dogs that I sort of attached to Star that I thought had some deep spiritual significance. And letting go of those experiences, or letting go of my need to imbue those experiences with some higher, deeper level of meaning, was actually a really important step on my road to accepting the fact that I was an atheist, and accepting the fact that I didn't believe in God, or that I didn't believe in the supernatural in general. When we lose somebody special, when we lose somebody close to us, a pet or a family member or a close friend, someone we love, we feel like it has to mean something. That desire for meaning is so overpowering. Even if you're a skeptic, even if you're a hardened, self-identifying atheist and you don't believe any of that, and you resist it, and you know intellectually that it's just not there, It's an overpowering desire for things to mean something. It's the comfortable mattress, the soft, pillowy bed of narcissism that it is all too tempting to lie back on. And if you want to be an honest, courageous, open person, and you don't want to persist in delusion, and you want to try your best to deal with the world as it is rather than however you would like it to be, that's a bed you just can't lie down on. And for a while I did lie down on it, and then I got up from it. And it's a good thing that I did, and I'm glad that I did. And now I'm free to look back on my memories of my dog and have yet another extra special thing to think about in relation to her, to sort of link her in some way, in some sort of poetic, indirect way, to my overcoming of magical thinking and religious thinking, and my acceptance of naturalism and atheism and what I consider to be the truth.
I would call myself a dog person. I would also call myself a cat person. I don't think you have to be one or the other. I mean, I think there are some people who are one or the other. I just am not like that. I love dogs and cats. I've had a dog that I have just loved to death, and I have a cat that I just love as much as I ever loved my dog. And you know, I don't feel the need to choose one or the other, and I don't feel the need, or I don't feel a tendency to prefer one species over the other. But I am a dog person. I do love dogs so much, and I'm not sure, like, when you try to think about it, because you ever try to analyze why you feel a certain way, or have you ever had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, husband, wife, lover, whatever? Have you ever had someone ask you, why do you love me? What do you love about me? Isn't that a fucking shitty question to ask somebody? Like, how can you actually try to put that into words and articulate specifically? You know, how can you itemize why you love someone? But if I were forced to itemize why I love dogs, I would probably talk about their loyalty. I would talk about how tireless they are, how friendly a well-trained, well-socialized dog can be. I would talk about the fact that we bred them, we engineered them to live with us. Like, there's something about a dog and about the domestication of the dog and the socialization of the dog, an animal that naturally tends to want to live in society, in a pack, in the company of other dogs or in the company of people. And we have made the dog that way, at least relative to us, not relative to other dogs, but we have bred and sort of artificially selected our way to this type of dog, to a dog that needs human companionship, that desires to be with us. They belong with us. Dogs belong with us, and we made it that way. And there's something special about that. You know, there's something special about that connection. It just melts my heart. You know, and it's just something that I remember feeling for my dog, and I see it with other people and their dogs, and I just treasure it. I think it speaks to the best of us as humans. It speaks to the very best of us. So those are all reasons why I'm a dog person. But you know, the real ultimate underlying reason why I am a dog person, it's the same reason why I'm a cat person. You know, I'm a cat person because I have an awesome cat. And I'm a dog person because for 16 years, I was incredibly, incredibly fortunate to have had an awesome dog. A dog who made my life better in ways I could never imagine, I could never describe to you. There's just not enough time to talk about how awesome my dog was and how much better my life was and how much better my life still is today because I had that dog. That's why I'm a dog person, because of Star. I'm a dog person because I had, at one time, a fucking amazing dog.